may I request my student Abhishek to speak a few words about Professor Mohanty. Over to Abhishek. It's okay.
It is my great honor and pleasure to introduce Professor Hrushikesha Mohanty. He obtained his PhD from IIT Kharagpur, having interest in the research area like distributed computing, soft engineering, business process, re-engineering, and mobile computing. He has vast research and teaching experience, and he has more than 100 papers and web services which is published in reputed national and international journals. Professor Mohanty have always been amazed by his ability to make even the most complex concepts understandable. He has been extensively engaged in implementing a governance system for University for Hyderabad. In addition, his literature with their Odia poetry books. To his credit, he also regularly contributes columns to Odia newspaper. He was the senior professor in the School of Computer and Information Sciences, University of Hyderabad. At present, he is working as Vice-Chancellor of KIIT, deemed to the University, Bhubaneswar. May I request to Professor Mohanty sir to deliver a speech on mathematics and data science.
Thank you for introducing me. Hello. Speak like this. Okay. So thanks for inviting me for this talk, and it's my pleasure for to be here in this conference. I think, ठीक है, okay. Hello. Okay. Hello. Hello. Not this video. Hello. Hello. Hello.
We can hear you.
Urjur. Hello. Hello. Okay.
We can hear you.
No, sir, near to it. Okay. So, thanks for this invitation for meeting you in this conference. Again,
just do that. Just here, sir. I'm here, sir.
what is the issue? I don't. Hello. Hello.
Sir, we can hear you, sir.
Hello. This mic is a. I think this is not required. I think it's okay. Yeah, it is. If it is audible, it's not a very big. So that's fine. Forget it. Leave it. Okay, let us go for this presentation. You just listened to Professor Mishra, a beautiful talk on this probability and representing probability using axioms in set theory and also defining a stochastic process. I think I wish you would have got more time to listen to him. And this is a very fundamental subject, and very nicely he was describing it. But anyway, mine would be, this talk is scope of mathematics and data science. What I was asked just 2 days back for talking on this subject. So it will be, I will travel through to different aspects of data science maybe a large scope I have to traverse, a panorama of data science. It will be too difficult for me in this short time to give you a glimpse of this area. Uh, in fact, this area, what now it is termed as a data science, I think it's a unfortunately what happens is that the science also goes with the market, and it gets a label, and but essentially what we call the data science, this is a mathematics. It's a full mathematics, and but no, a different reason why the new terms are being generated. That's a different issue. But let us see that what the data science means. And the last talk, what Professor Misra was talking is that a simple events, the tossing of a coin, and from that event, what the data it generates. From that, you we bring out a mathematics, but for mathematics for what? Mathematics for defining the scenarios that these data are carrying. That is there. You see that long before. So now exactly the same sense of understanding the data, and I'm delighted to quote from his slide. There is a very nice term. He told that regularity of observation. So this is what exactly data science is looking for. So so why people talk about data today? We just for an example, we have the Twitter. Twitter is that 6,000 tweets per second, 500 million tweets per day, and 200 billion tweets per year. That's what you Google it. Google tells you. So, but this is only one social platform. There are many social platforms, starting from TikTok, Facebook to many other. But that is not that doesn't end there. We have now what we call the digital world. Every transactions, every interactions now is digitalized, and the whole world is essentially we see as a digital world, an engine spewing of huge data. Okay, this is what the data is from governance, data is from business paradigm, data from health sectors, from many such domains. Data are now coming, and so this is what we are today. We have plenty of data, and we want to get the meaning of meaning from this data. So that's what last talk you listened about, that meaning out of tossing of the coins. So now what? So all this information, in fact, when I'm talking about data, it is not only the digits, though it is not the only numerals. I'm also talking about the strings, characters, and so so there are some obvious questions comes that what they are talking about this data, what is this about, who are the people talking, and what they talk, do they talk the same about the same event, and does it make any impact? So that is what in computer science they given a term called sentiment computation, and who are the gang of this data. So this is what you see in the Twitter trolling. You say that some people troll. No, they are the issues of data, and they try to do all the hodgepodge. That is what I mean, the gang of data. And even the data is there. So maybe something is you are observing, but that is not the data that means that. So this is what the disguise, what the data is covering, and what is the underneath the data, what is the essentially, what is the truth in it. So this is what maybe last talk, that mathematics doesn't say. Of course, the cryptography talks about that. And now, and you have the history of data. You worry that we also are interested to make a repository of data, and because now we have a very good memory to store it, and also we have immense computing power to retrieve and whenever we require. So this is what we are today, and this is why we are interested in why we talk about the data. So then what is science about it? We say if the data is there, data has been there before also. We all have seen database management systems. We have seen, I mean, the first thing which we try to appreciate is that, railway reservation system. So everything is there, and, we could, before we used to stand in a big queue, and because everything is, the data is there now, we can sit at home and we get the ticket. So this is there, the database management system is there. But now why we are talking about the data as such? What is science in it? I think this is the first question should come. So if you see that, the database management system, their information we are keeping, and it was assumed that they are all truth. They are all the fact which is there is no false into it, and no, and so those data we are storing it. But when this kind of information coming, the digital world is pouring the information in, then what we want is that we want to ferret truth in data. What is truth inside the data, and also we want to do it truthfully. So that is I think I very consciously put in these two terms, truthfully and truth. This is what and if this is only possible, if if it is a science, because it is science, then it is provable. Once I infer some information from given data, then I should be able to prove that this is how I have inferred. So this is why it is called the science now. So we call the term is called data science because of the need, because the information is coming from different worlds, from different directions. We do not know who is putting what data, but processing all this data, we want to make meaning out of it, and this meaning is must be the truth inside hiding. So this is what we are looking for, and we are looking for a science. It is not that we are looking for there was no science. It was there. It is there, but we need to now think of. I think when I go to the end, the challenge, that time we look that what we are looking for. So what essentially what now the paradigm we operate is that explore, inference, and the learn. This is what three paradigms, and if you see that all AI systems, artificial intelligence system, they try to operate in these three paradigms. You explore the world, and the world as much possible. The world is explored, and the information about the world is being collected, and then after that we infer from the from that observations, and if there is something we see that there is a truth and it must be remembered and it is very new, then we learn it. For example, like you if you were traveling, you are just taking a stroll in here. Somehow you have gone into a forest. We do not know the ways inside the forest, but we want to get out before the sunset. So we because you think that we do not have the GPS system now what you have today. So when you are in the forest, we see that to see that what could be the way out. Then we look up and see that somewhere there is there are a bunch of birds are flying. There are some smokes are rising up into the sky. So these are the information, these are the data which we get it. From that we infer that okay, if there is a smoke, that means there is some habitat is there, they must be cooking, so people are there around in this direction. So I should take this directions. And if there is a lot of birds are flying, then probably we can say that there is a pond or something is there, and the habitat is there, maybe food is available, the birds are there. So this is what we hypothesize. We hypothesize about the world having the data on the world. So this is what the hypothesis comes, and this inferencing is tried to prove the what the hypothesis we have. And then once it is proved, then we see that no, is it a new thing what we have derived? So if it is a new thing, then we would like to learn these things. This is what is the paradigm. I mean, very, very abstractly, what I put the artificial intelligence system it does with, and what, and also this data science wants to use this information data, and also essentially it goes through these three paradigms. So what is the research into it? I am not talking about usually the data science when people talk about the placement. I am not talking about that, but because I do not believe on that, no, we do have something only when there is a placement. But I am just here, I want to put stress on the research. What is the research involved in this data science? And it will be very abstractly, but I am assure you that every word there is science is there is enough theoretical work in this, and also there is a lot of applications about this. So let us just tell about three of three C's. So every line, three lines, you see that there are three C's. One is that clean, comprehend, and complete. This is what we do once we get the data. We try to clean it. Clean it, basically, it is what we see that if it is a string, suppose you think of a Twitter data, we take the Twitter data and you will see that there are a lot of words which is a very, what do you call, no, it's a very tangential words. The Twitter rates used to half words like U or means capital U and a small r. So this is what the Twitter rates use it. So this is the terms are to be cleaned and to be put it in the right perspective. What could be the right words? So this is what. Other one is that we. So if you see that clean means there is a lot of string processing algorithms are there, and you see that the comprehend about the world, that what the world could be, about the event we are talking about. Why in the natural language processing they said that if you have a word this is a read is a word, then in its neighborhood set of words we look forward is that there must be somebody, the subject who is reading, and there must be an object to what it is reading. So this is what is the comprehension means. So this is here is in a window search algorithms, we put it, we process the string, and to find out that there must be something, if there is something missing, or can we prove further if there is either the subject or object they are missing it. So this is what the comprehending the world and trying to explore more and more. And then you see that the world we are exploring, is it complete in nature? If you see the last talk what we are talking about, if you see that the first axioms, three axioms it has taken is like it is a closed by complement, it closed by the union, if I remember. But what essentially the understanding is that the what is the basic elements of the world is known. That is what, if you touch the coin, you know that it is the head or tail. So this is known. But most of the data world, the data science world problems, they are incomplete in nature. And if we want to have a comprehend about the world, so in that case, we need to see that which domain we are talking about. So if you see that the domain we are talking about about. If it is a governance, then we try to close the world to the governance, and with respect to that, they are not. If you see that, database, we see that the word complex also there is a completeness algorithm and to study that is it a world is complete or not. Then the next rule is that compose and uh, convolute and the concise. This is what we have the another three C's. And so what means what you see how you infer it. That is a, if you have a world, we have described in terms of the logic, either the first, the hierarchy, what could be the different world of the case, and then how to cancel it. There here the research and the description and the decryption goes. I will just touch upon very briefly about the different issues. The explore is that is that event and the truth detections. So this is what from a given raw data, how we ferret the events. So if you what is the agree? I just let me see. If you see that last talk, if the sir was talking about this and it is the so this is what is essentially they are doing it. Once defining the space, they are trying to characterize the space from different aspects. So this is what once we have the raw data. So from this raw out, and what does it represent, and what is the truth in it. So that means if there is the more it is inconsistent, so it is truthful. Two event number of two trades. We're talking about they have got a m number of tweets they have made it. So from this m number of tweets, you make it. You do is all the comparison. You see that how much they differ in terms of edit distance, or you take any distance measure and try to see that what could be the similarity and dissimilarity. If there is a threshold more than the threshold, the dissimilarity, then we say that it is not truth. So the summarization is another problem. I know you read like when you write a paper, then we put an abstract. So that is what is the summarization means it. So imagine that if a given text of say 100 pages, you are asked to develop a mechanism, a mathematical a tool to summarize that 100 pages book. How challenging the problem could be. So in this, you see that there is of course the statistics has been there before. So now you see a lot of research problems. People who are attacking from the pure mathematics point of view, graph theory, and of course the heuristics. So So this is what is the inferencing. I think some of the students must be knowing this. The logic. In the prologue, if you have done the programming in the prologue, so the higher order logic also people use it, and the fuzzy logic also use it. I think this is what exactly it means. It means that once you have the world, so you have to take a decision that what kind of logic you would like to use it. If it is a deterministic, whatever fact is fact, I mean there is nothing dilution into it, so you will choose to have a fast order logic. But if there is a variability is involved, then of course you have to have a higher order logic. So and if there is a constraint now is what uh, people, a lot of researchers, they work um, irrespective of mathematics. I think most in the engineering community they prefer this soft inferencing. So this soft inferencing, I think there is what I remember Professor Mishra's slide. There was a line. It was telling that when classical mathematics, the many phenomena didn't agree with the classical mathematics, didn't find it unable to describe, then the idea of the probability came. I think the similar things now people talk about the soft computing is that in case of hard decision making, instead of telling just yes or no, there is many things in between yes and no, and to tell that no, there is no answer to this problem. I mean, it's a good can give a lot of hand to this, and to make an what exactly the uh, the deep neural network means. Deep neural network is that there is the tug of war between the generalization and the specializations. And what Professor Mishra was also talking about, that generalization from the number of experiments we do it. I think there is a philosophically there is a problem in such kind of a generalization, and also there is a loss of not or ignoring something which is not emergent in terms of its weight. So if it is a set, it is how many members you have in the set. So in terms of that, if something is not very emergent, if then and if we try to ignore those with a threshold value, then there is a possibility of what I told, that of losing the truth. So there may be the small relations which is which maybe we are ignoring in our math because of the looking at very high in the generalization process, and and to not to do that, to ferret out that truth. This is where the deep neural network now people talk about. And the point is that there must be a theory, mathematical theory is that for a given problem of this nature, how much deep, how many layers the neural network could be. I am not telling that there has not been any work. You can Google. I mean, there are very exciting set of researchers now. They are working on this problem. The belief network has been there from since long. Also, it has got a very strong mathematical foundations, and I I will not go into that. But now I will try to traverse through the different theory and its applications in terms of in the field of data science. But that is what this talk was looking for: the scope of mathematics in data science. So so this is what. You see that chaos theory, it has been already there. So what is there? It does the modeling the butterfly effect. Uh, Maybe any system, not only the social systems, but any system. If there is a butterfly effect, then this is there is a chaos theory which is already there. The causality theory. So that's what. So we see that logic-based inferencing and the field theory. We have generalization and emergent view modeling. That is what I was talking about. Once we have this observations, data. So from there to derive the what is the emergent view. Uh, the other one is sociometry. Actually, the sociometry has come basically from the psychologists. So these are experimental psychologists, and they try to develop a theory by which they can explain the experimental results. I think the uh, so this sociometry is essentially what it is. It is trying to understand they did it for social relationship, but now it can be used for the same method can be used for the finding the relations among the data sets. So this is essentially it is a graph representation of relationship. We have the Shannon's information theory, so which essentially looks at the information a communication has. The similarly, there is a the data from the WhatsApp chats. The intelligence agency finds a stream of WhatsApp chats. Then it wants to find out that what is about chat about it, and what is the content about it. If the content is the entropy is high from one chat to the another chat, then it becomes the intelligence agency takes interest into it. So that means it is not a lazy chat like two students or two friends are talking about the same thing. But if it is there is a lot of information, the entropy is very high, then it has to be probed. So this is what the data science also will give an hand. I think I will come back to uh, this point, and the what Professor Misra also talked about the stochastic process later towards the end, and then having the data. Of course, we need to make a decisions, and there is game theory is already there with the mathematics. So so next is studying nonlinear behavior. So if the data is not that, the data is always talks about the orderly behavior. So for that we have a math, we have a reasoning with inexactness. We have math fuzzy logic. We have approximation and optimization. So we have subcomputing techniques, and studying social structures. We have graph theory, and of course the prediction is the probability theory. So now this is uh, what we have seen that you have a in the your armory, mathematical armory, we have a lot of uh, arms and to to meet the challenge of data science. It is the whole data science what we are talking about today. Mostly the industry talks about the hype is from the industry. So it talks about it is in fact it is ignoring that the math, the foundations. There is a strong foundation is laid in the mathematics to see that the applications are developed based on this strong foundation. So, what is the future of this in this data science? What we are talking about? I think the mathematicians should should think of it. I think and try to contribute to it. So let us imagine a scenario like this. Now we are you are a mathematician is standing in the which one unit 2, there's a big market in Bhubaneswar. There's a big market. Somebody is a mathematician is standing there, and it is looking at the mathematician is looking at the people. They are moving around for their part. They have come for different shopping. And this is what is it looks at the beginning, if somebody looks at, anybody other than a mathematician, if he looks at it, finds utter chaos. I don't know. And that's why in your language, in Udia language, we say that it is going to hattobosigli. So this is what it means that it is a useless gatherings, and there is no order, there is nothing. But a mathematician looks at it in a different way. And exactly the data science is like a mathematician to watch that, everybody who is going there if to that market is carrying an immense of data with it, for each person. Of course, now imagine having our Aadhaar card centralized, I think, and Google is there. Everybody knows that what you are going. You have all information with Aadhaar card. All transactions are known, and Google may trace also you where you are moving. So this is what the scenario. Everybody in gathered there in the unit to market, of data, what the information you can generate scenarios. You can always speculate that which stuff is going to be sold more. If somebody is buying the chuda, then probably you can give a blip to his cell phone and all. The kadali is being sold at lane number this, or the stall number this, or chana is somewhere. So this is what I think. What the application could be, but the math could be much more complex. The what sir was talking about, the stochastic process, the scenario will keep changing, and in this changing scenario, now we need a math which will very fast make a decision. First, get the information and process it, and get the information, get the make. This is what we want is that the data we have got, we need to aggregate and get the information. We need to have a emergent scenario, the a kind of a generalization and specialization we're talking about. Yeah. So this, I think, I'll go to the next one to give it. So the challenge is that we are looking for now a new mathematics to tame the four V's. What the computer science people tell that this is a big data. So what is the volume, velocity, variety, and veracity? So volume database, already database management system, which stands with the relational algebra and the relational calculus. This is already a very well established theory about it. And now currently what is that, I already told that the velocity, the kind so fast, the the data they are being generated by social platforms or by your bank transactions or different transactions. So this is streaming so fast, and there is different variety of data. So it could be audio, video, pictures, many variety of data. And and there is a and we have to see that the veracity of this data. I was talking about the truth. What is truth in data? So this is what the challenge is. And now the data science is offering, and data is offering, and for that we are looking for a science into it. We are looking for a new math into it. So here I'm just thinking of what the very recent the field medal in mathematics, the if you know the professor's work. So what exactly what he has done? He is trying to say that the the infusing this number theory and into the representation in a different dimensional space, and also it happens in a dynamical systems. So he is giving a math that which does with the number theory and the representation in a higher dimensional space, and the space changes with respect to the time. So this is what the new math, I think the last field medal is given to the very, very pioneering work of Professor Venkatesh. And this is what the math is now looking, the data science is looking for such math which will get the data, raw data, and put it, present it different dimensional space, because uh, and also the from space to one dimension to another dimension space, the projections can traverse through, and such that the data will information will not be lost. So like information theory of Simons has to be applied. So information will not be lost. At the same time, the completeness of the scenario, maybe like the probability you have yes or no. Similarly with the domain specific, if you said that the scenario will be only in this dimension, but the data once got from unknown dimensions. We do not know how many dimensions informations are coming, but if you want to view it in suppose like suppose electoral data, you want to view it in terms of say say in terms of governance, in terms of discipline, in terms of development. So if the three coordinates, if you want to view the all the observed data from somewhere where the election is being done now. Now with respect to that, my transformation math has to be from a unknown dimension to this three-dimensional space, so that I can put it into a different clusters and see that what is the information is evolving out of it. So this kind of things also support vector machine does. This kind of things also the kind of a supervised or unsupervised clustering also does. But the point what I was talking about, that we do not now we look for a totality of the transformation of data, raw data, processing it, getting a shape, and also looking at that the shape changes with respect to time. Suppose imagine the same election time. Election time, how the scenario changes overnight, maybe in an hour. But now the math has to be there to forecast, to and also to pictorially to represent in a dimensional space what is the different scenarios and how dimensionally they look like. So you have a the representational the aspect into it. At the same time, we have a information aspect of it. So this is what is the challenge now. I think now data science looking towards the contribution of the mathematicians, and I am sure that the mathematicians will uh, will come forward and and have some exciting research into it. Thank you very much. So is there anything if you have I think
You can plug this for the questions, sir.
okay,
Yes, sir.
thank you.
Hello.
Is there any question
Good
from audience
afternoon,
side?
sir.
Yes, yes.
Sir, I have a question.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh, Sir, so my question is,
Yes.
you have said that mathematics is there in data science right from the beginning of data security to predicting informations, getting insights, all those things. But is there any sector in data science
Mm.
where there is no involvement of mathematics till today, but there is a possibility of getting mathematics involved in future?
There is a possibility. I think if you say that, what is the, is there any area data science, the mathematics is not there? Maybe, it is just maybe the collecting the data and dumping into a file. That may be where the mathematics may not be there. You just
Okay.
uh, collect the data or you read and dump into a file. I think there is no mathematics into it. So, but
Okay.
what you can contribute to, if you are asking that question, that I think if you see in this my I already in the toward the end what I told is that
In the
the
challenges part.
for in the challenges part, I think that's a very very higher order contribution, and of course the youngsters like you should look towards that, and uh, I mean that is what having a data. I think a small tutorial work you can think of having a data and forming a structure, and then these data are time variant data, and then you simulate these changes in the data, then you see that how this structure is changing, and in algebra, in topology, you can think of those areas and see that this probability part you can look at. No, and for the secrecy that if you have a the structures are manifolds, and the
Okay.
one structure is obscuring the another structure. So this is what the information is hidden, and in math, what should be the math, so that you can unfold the folds, and see that what is the information hidden inside.
Okay.
Okay,
So,
am I
yeah, sir, one
am
more
I clear?
question. Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
When you had written that we need to find new mathematics to tame velocity. Velocity means what?
Hmm.
The speed of data transfer or what in data science?
Yeah, yeah. What I mean, I didn't use that word. The word the computer science people use is that this is a real time computations. So imagine that the tweets are being they are people are putting the tweets. Okay,
Okay.
it is going on. The tweets are emerging. Okay,
Yes.
so from this, if I have a event detection problem, then then what I need is that I have a one tweet, and after I have processed, or even during processing, then another tweet has come, then another tweet has come. Okay, so
Okay.
this is where the velocity of data, emerging the data comes. Now my computation should be such that, so that that I should be as quickly as possible. I should be able to process that emerging that what do you call they are being tweeted, the incoming tweets. So this is
Hmm.
what I mean, the taming the velocity. So we need to tame the velocity, means that our computation must be that fast, so that we take
We can process the
we
data.
we can process it and get the information as fast as possible. So imagine that there is a catastrophe. Okay, there is a catastrophe, and some people are inside a debris. We need to take action very fast. So this is what is the velocity, I mean.
Hmm. So, sir, the mathematics is only limited to the software part, or it is also being applicable to the hardware part, where we can implement some mathematics for
So
efficiency or like that.
So, this is the. It is not only the software. Sorry, just a minute. This is not only software part. Uh, if it is see, so like very real time, very ultra real time, like missiles, like set your our space shuttles. So
Hmm.
in those cases, many things, these algorithms, what we see talk about the algorithms, they are hardware because they do faster. It goes faster.
Okay.
Suppose like fuzzy logic controller in your washing machine. Okay, so that could be a software also, but it is a hardware. So it will be faster.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Welcome. Yes, sir. You are asking.
Is there any question? Hello, dear participant, is there any question?
Sir, I I only know that the logic, the logics, when you have a first order logic and then the higher order logic. In the higher order logic, they are nonlinear in nature. Okay, so if it is second order, third order, fourth order, they are nonlinear in nature. And if we try to do the inferencing, okay, so then it it generates a huge solution space, and sometimes it goes exponentially. It goes. So there are different techniques are there, how this exponentially growing solution space, um, solution space is to be pruned. So there, to prune that solution space, so we use uh, we use the heuristics. Some people, the soft computing people, they use the heuristics, or the others, they use the, like our old good old Mahalanobis distance, or different distance measures. That also they see that if the decision threads, they do not lie very far one to another. So in different way they make a decision and prune this uh, uh, the the distance space in case of the nonlinear.
Okay, is there any question from audience side?
Pardon me? But I don't know, nonlinear in differential equation, there may be different way of doing it.